I think, as you said, for me anyway, I blame all the cancer per se for a lot of that, because before it was, I had a normal cycle. There was always that one time a month where you just did feel like it more often.
And that was in the middle of the month, wasn't it? Because
right.
your body is primed to get pregnant.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And now that's gone, so I don't have that happening anymore.
Yeah, and that's sad. You miss it, don't you?
For sure. As much as people will say, oh, you're so lucky you don't have a period anymore, you don't have to deal with that. And I'm like, no. I would much prefer to have that and just have a little bit of feeling normal. Because to me, this is still, I don't feel like I'm normal.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm somewhat half woman, half something else, because I don't have that.
Yeah.
Parts anymore. And
And that needs to be validated. That is your feeling, and that is real. Nobody can tell you that your feeling is wrong.
Right.
They don't know. What you have now is the new normal, right?
Right.
But you've got to come to terms with that, and you've got to accept that new person physically that you are, and you've got to learn to love her. Right? And I hope that comes for you. Because it's not better or worse than the you that you were before. It's just different.
Right.
Other comments or questions? And thank you for sharing that.
Did you have another question, Cheyenne?
No, I actually really thought I've been enlightened. I think I've had a lot of mine answered. Thank you.
Thanks, Cheyenne.
Thank you, Cheyenne. You're not alone, too, because I know that I deal with that every day. In terms of feeling that feminine side, that sexy way not even sexy, just feeling feminine.
Right.
Yeah, womanly.
Womanly, yeah. It is different, and you're so right. It's accepting the new you, basically.
Yeah. And that takes time, and there's no timetable on it. You just gotta forgive your body, right?
Right.
And so you got to do that first. You got to forgive your body for letting you down, betraying you. However you see it. And you don't have to feel that way, but often women do, right? So you've got to forgive your body, and you've got to learn to love it again for what it can do.
Yeah.
Right? And there's still stuff that it can do.
Yeah. No, for sure. I blamed myself for a long time. For a long time, I thought it was me that I did this to myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that people do that, and they blame themselves for not acting on like weird little feelings that now in retrospect you can make the connection. And this is I think an absolutely sentinel experience of ovarian cancer, because it is so vague, right?
Right.
That that in retrospect you go, oh, okay, so that's what that was. But you don't go through life thinking that every little twinge or little bubble is cancer.
Right.
Right? We'd all be crazy.
Yeah.
Right? I think some people do that, right? And they make themselves crazy. So you've got to forgive yourself, and you've got to find what is it now about your body that that you can appreciate.
Yeah.
I think too, it's for me the whole suddenness of it, because I went from my baby was a year at the time I was diagnosed, so I had just finished nursing. I was very much in the baby mode, and then everything was taken. I went from nursing to having a hysterectomy within a year of each other, and now what I find, as far as finding someone who can relate, like you said, Claudia, you feel like you're the only young person out there with this, and you feel so alone. Other women that I met with ovarian at the time were definitely older and had already either had menopause or were in it.
Mm-hmm.
So when it all happened, it wasn't too big of a deal in that respect, because they were already having the menopause.
Right.
So now what I find, my friends that I am with are just kind of starting that, and I've already been in it. and they're talking about, trying to support each other with the little bit that's slowly coming on. And for me, it was all immediate, but I didn't get that building up to it.
Right. And it was completely out of sync with your developmental milestones.
Right.
I mean, this is not supposed to happen to women like you.
Right.
Right. And the suddenness of it also. I mean, I think we talk a lot about surgical menopause. Living it is an entirely different matter.
Right.
You do not ease into it. It's one day it's there, and another day it's not there. Right?
Yes.
Plus, this is cancer. Right? It's not someone having a hysterectomy because they're having heavy bleeding. Right? And it's a pain in the ass. Different. The stakes are higher.
Yeah. You're right.
So the fact that you're on this call and talking about it is amazing.
Yeah. Definitely.
So now someone else wanted to tell their story. Am I right?
Yes, Cynthia?
Oh, Cynthia, yes. But I have a question. I didn't know if somebody else had questions. I know I've developed questions along the way, so if I could ask
Okay,
them.
perfect. If you want to ask your
Yeah,
question.
fire away, Cynthia.
My question is, how do you handle, I keep saying the guilt. So I'm fine because I have no libido. So I'm fine with not having intercourse and all that. But I feel so guilty for taking that away from my husband, where his libido hasn't changed. So how do you, that's more where my struggle is, because I feel like I do feel like I'm missing out on something, but because there's no libido there, I'm not missing out on anything, because it's not like I have the feeling to do it.
Okay.
We do cuddle, and we're close that way, too, but obviously he wants more, and I kind of regress, and think it's making he knows that I'm going to regress, and it's uncomfortable and painful.
Okay.
So, how do you, I try and please him other ways, obviously.
Right.
To me, that's not good enough, that's not intercourse.
Okay, well, there are a couple things that you need to think about here. The first thing is, you talk about being uncomfortable and it being painful. You need to sort that piece out.
So I did see, yes. Is there such a, vaginismus?
Yeah, so vaginismus. Vaginismus is a term that we actually don't use anymore in the sex therapy circles. I mean, first of all, no one can say it, and I think it comes from Latin or something, and we're trying to let go of the old Latin terms. But basically, what vaginismus refers to sexual pain. So what often happens to women who experience pain, particularly with penetration or sexual touch in that area, is that they tense up, right? Because when it hurts, your body wants to protect yourself. When when there's a flame licking at your finger, you pull your finger away, right?
Right.
Same thing for the vagina and vulva. Let's just call them the genitals for now, okay? So when penetration or touch hurts, your natural response is to pull away, protect yourself. The vagina passes through the muscles of the pelvic floor. Those are the muscles that support your bladder, and the vagina and the rectum pass through that. And those are very, very powerful muscles, and they can actually shut things, with strong contraction, they can shut things down that you couldn't get a Q-tip in there. Okay? And it hurts like heck. So, that is the body's response to pain. What you have to do, or what you could do, is, through a process of your body needs to relearn that the body can be a source of pleasure too. It's not just a source of pain. And probably the most effective treatment for sexual pain that we have is pelvic floor physiotherapy. Now, you probably don't know, but there are physiotherapists who specialize in treating problems with the pelvic floor. You know those ladies who pee every time they sneeze or laugh?
Yeah.
They got pelvic floor issues. And a pelvic floor physiotherapist could do wonders for them. You have to find someone, though, who specializes in the pelvic floor. Just your regular sort of common garden physiotherapist does not necessarily have that ability. You should call the Physiotherapy Association in your province and ask if they know who is a specialist in pelvic floor physiotherapy. And they're often she's, could be your best friend. So even though you may not necessarily be feeling desire for sex, I'm not suggesting that you do things that you don't want to do, and I'm not suggesting that you do things that hurt you. Okay? But you're also feeling guilt about your husband.
Right.
Have you, my next question, you don't have to answer this, is have you talked to him about it? We often assume our partners are feeling a certain way, and they're not, right? We make assumptions, right? So, he may be quite happy with whatever it is that you guys are doing, or not. If he isn't, you need to talk about it, and you need to figure out a way to fix it that is protective of not only your body, but your soul too. And the same for him. So I don't know where you are, but perhaps a couple sessions with a sexuality counselor may help the two of you to talk to each other and figure some of that stuff out, because it's really hard just to do the two of you alone. It really is.
We're very good at communicating. We are.
Okay.
And he's been 100% supportive and whatnot. He says that he's, like, the stress of what we've gone through together has also changed his libido.
Yeah.
So he's like, it's not just me, it's him as well. So it's just, I just think this is not fair. Like, we shouldn't be here at this age, Like, we're trying
Absolutely.
to stop having intercourse.
Yeah, absolutely. But, it may be with some work with a pelvic floor therapist and some decent lube, you may be able to start something going. There are also some very, there's something called sensate focus exercises, which sex therapists have been using since the 1950s, and even though it's been around probably longer than all of you, they actually work, and I'm going to give you my email address, and I actually have a handout on that, and I have a handout on lubricants, so whoever's interested, just email me, and I'll send you those two as attachments. But sensate focus exercises are a series of sort of homework assignments that help the two of you sort of get in touch with your body as a source of pleasure. It's graduated. You don't ever have to get to intercourse if you don't want to, and it's really a good way of connecting in a way that takes a whole lot of stress and sort of performance issues off the table. But, it's really common, particularly men seem to be able to do this better than we do, men who've had cancer, but women who've had cancer really lose touch with their bodies. I think it's the way that you get through a horrible experience. You kind of disconnect, disassociate from your body, and then it's very hard to find your way back after.
Today